I'm driving and talking about literature at the same time. Can I get a little respect?
So we're on our way to my birthday trip. This was my golden birthday this year.
I was so confused because I thought golden means 50. So I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not your 50th birthday.
People told me that was what golden birthday meant.
I think you're right. However, I was confused.
Okay.
And I think that's so real of me.
It's good to clarify that. We are going to a book signing this week, and we're going to spend a couple days just doing absolutely nothing.
Just rotting.
I could not be more excited.
It's an anti-trip. It's a vacation because we're literally going to do nothing.
Get a little bumpy.
Okay. So we're here to talk about both what's the name of the book? Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire.
Yes.
Because we can't follow our own rules, apparently.
Crown of Midnight?
Yeah, that's what the third one's called.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I read that.
Yeah, Crown of Midnight is basically Throne of Glass, because she's in the same place as Throne of Glass, but the plot is thickening, and the magic is magicking. I think we need to talk about the romance. Like, honestly, that's the main thing I want to talk about from Crown of Midnight, because it broke my heart into, like, a bajillion pieces. Like, I was so sad. I knew it was coming because, you know, you can't be on the Bookternet without knowing that Selena ends up with Rowan, whatever his name is.
Which, that kind of throws me off because they're distantly related.
Yeah. It's pretty sus.
But then they, like, say something in the book about how, like, it's like, oh, everybody in this is, like, basically kind of related because you come from, like, Fae bloodline and...
Well, let me ask you something. Why did you have to include that, Sarah Janet? You could have just not said that.
Janet?
That's her middle name, Sarah.
Oh.
Like, Sarah Janet. You could have not written that, but you did. Why?
Because I would get where I would be like, oh, they're cute, they're banter, and then I'd be like, wait, they're like basically cousins.
Well, and her and Adian are also cousins, and he says some pretty sus things about her. He's like, I feel this need to protect her. It's a Fae thing. We might get married. We're also first cousins. No? Nothing?
That's...
You didn't catch that?
I did! She's my queen.
Sometimes Adian would say things about her, and I'd literally write creepy.
She's my queen.
She's my queen.
I hate her.
Kale, I knew it wasn't going to last, but still, they were, like, so cute. What did you think of them?
Yeah, I thought that they were really cute. I just think that, like, Kale seems to have there's something that Kale can't really accept fully who she is.
Yeah.
Which now we understand after Heir of Fire why she is so delulu and like why she acted, because she had to take on this persona as like, and that was her identity for so long, and she's also, anyways.
Well, and then also, like, I feel like Kale, the reason why he can't accept her and why he's also living in delusion. Oh my gosh, until Dorian is like, dude, snap out of it, which was iconic, by the way. That actually made me like Dorian for a second. But I feel like he gave up everything to be where he is, to be the captain of the guard for the King of Darland. And he's like, I gave up literally everything, and so it has to be worth something. Like, it has to be, like, there has to be a purpose to it. And you're like, okay, but you're literally delusional.
When is it when he starts helping Adian? That's Heir of Fire, right?
Yeah, because she doesn't leave till the end of Crown of Midnight.
Oh, yeah. Crown of Midnight, when, she died. Nehemia, yeah. That was,
Well, and then
she was, like, so in her feels about it, too. When she literally, Nehemia told her not to do that.
Well, but also, like, Nehemia did, like, a super messed up thing. Like, basically orchestrating her own death to prompt Selena into action.
But Selena wasn't going to do it without it.
Maybe not, but, like, still it's kind of a messed up thing.
Well, Nehemia was like, you're being a coward, and she was like, whatever. And then she died.
Well, I think she just wanted to, like, that she knew that the tragedy of her dying would strip Selena back to who she was when she was 10 years old and running for 8 years old. Yeah. And running for her life and, like, all the tragedy that she went through, and would, like, put her back in that place, in that headspace, and, like, maybe make her be like, oh shoot, I don't really, like, I need to actually do something.
For so much of Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire, it was just like, they're like, you need to do something, and she was like,
I really liked Crown of Midnight way better than Throne of Glass, which it also occurred to me as I was editing Throne of Glass that we never actually talked about our ratings. So for me, Assassin's Blade 4 stars, Throne of Glass 4 stars, and then Crown of Midnight 4 stars, Heir of Fire 4 stars. So 4, 3, 4, 4.
Heir of Fire was like 4 stars because Rowan, honestly, finally somebody called Selena out on her.
I don't like him.
You don't?
No. He gives nothing to me. Like, he's fine. I don't hate him even. Like, the way that I'm like, shut up, Dorian. Like, I don't care about Ronan. Like, it's literally Rowan, sorry.
The way that he called Selena out in the beginning, though.
But, like, he did that because he was just being a jerk face. Like, he didn't do it because he was like Nehemia, like, I know who you are, like. And then the thing that really, like, made him, like, understand who she was her time in Endovier, and after that he was like, I am your slave. I will go to whatever end. I will go into battle. And I was like, literally, dude, why? I'm excited for some of the other love stories in this series. I think that they're just going to kind of be meh for me. The only time that they made me feel something was what?
It's just the only time they made me feel something.
I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just a natural born hater. It comes naturally. Only time that they made me feel something was, there was a time, hold on, it's gonna come to me. I think when she like sacrificed herself and he like saw her magic and was like, oh my gosh, she's incredible, but I have to go make sure that like she's okay and everything. And I was like, oh, because that part was emotional where you like go through her like what she went through and you're like back in those memories with her and they're trying to break her and she's trying to rise above it. That was like, I was feeling something.
But she was so stubborn about it too. I feel like it was necessary for him to be kind of cold at first and not, because all of these things are fronts that she's put up for so long, running from who she is and like hiding who she is. So
well, her little like, I don't care, she kind of stripped that away. I was like, no, I'm done with that. And like nobody else could really do that, not even Kaol. I'm not even saying that they're not meant for each other. I just like, it's for me.
Oh, apparently Dorian doesn't end up with the cute healer.
Yikes. I know who he ends up with because again, I'm on the Bookturnet.
Yeah.
And so like that whole thing, I'm like really.
He ends up with the witch, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, literally, when she was first introduced, my little annotation was like, something tells me this witch is going to be redeemed by the power of love. She was just the worst. When she, like, literally, like, stepped onto the scene, I was like, who is this chick? Like,
I was like, what?
But I will say this, okay? And this was my thing, that Heir of Fire, I was like, okay, the kids are all right. You know what I mean? Is when, like, she was picking out her, do you say wyvern or wyvern?
Wyvern?
Okay, because my husband says wyvern, and so like I always like, and then I was like, it's wyvern actually, but now I say wyvern because he actually
that is so correct.
When she was choosing her wyvern, and like I kept feeling so bad for the bait beasts.
Yeah.
Right? I kept feeling like, oh my gosh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Like that's terrible. And then like I was like, if she doesn't get down there and save this bait beast, like, I can't mess with her. I can't do it. Like, she's whatever. And then she did, and I was like, okay, all right, you're good. Like, you're good with me.
But she's also kind of funny as she's, like, training him, and she's like, you're gonna jump off this freaking cliff, I swear.
Their dynamic is pretty cute.
She's like, I did not just go and get you spider silk for you to see.
Well, and she, like, does not coddle him whatsoever, but she's also protective of him, so she's like, jump off the cliff now! And he's like, I don't want to do that.
You're making me look stupid!
And the whole spider silk thing came back in a really cool way. Yeah. I was definitely prepared for her to fight them, and instead she was just like, bah! I was like, okay. Alright. It was a subversion of my expectations, for sure. Yeah.
I really feel like Assassin's Blade, like, really, I'm glad I read it first, because it's when everything clicked for me.
Yeah.
Heir of Fire. I could see why reading it after Heir of Fire would be.
I think before, right? I think most people read Assassin's Blade third, and then they go into Heir of Fire having read Assassin's Blade. I think.
Yeah, I liked reading Assassin's Blade first, because Heir of Fire, like, everything clicked.
Yeah.
Everything clicked. Because I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
right.
So she's not just delusional.
Basically, Crown of Midnight is just Selena's still in the palace. She's still working for the king, except she's not actually killing people. And, you know, she's like figuring out what's going on with the weird tower, figuring out like a little bit more about the king's magic.
She's definitely moving further and further away from her identity as an assassin.
Yeah.
At Crown of Midnight, she's pretty much left it on the, like, where it comes in handy sometimes, but she's not doing that anymore. Mostly because I think she feels she doesn't have to, because she's not in the Assassin's Keep, you know? There's
not a lot that really, like, happens, I don't feel like, in Crown of Midnight. It's mostly just her uncovering the mystery, not actually killing people. And then there are people who are looking for the lost queen, princess, whatever, of Terrasen. And guess who the lost princess is? Every lost princess story cracks me up because it's like, who's the lost princess? I don't know, maybe the main character of the book.
Selena's Fae, but maybe that certainly has nothing to do with the lost.
Dorian has magic now. And Dorian, like, kind of coming into his own in Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire. I was like, okay, Dorian. Okay, because in the first one, he just comes across as, like, an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still kind of, sometimes he's like, with the healer, he's like,
yeah, I feel like he definitely should have asked follow-up questions about a lot of things, but...
Yeah. And then he was like, wait, what? And you were like, okay.
So he begins this relationship with a healer in the palace who turns out to be working for the rebels, who are the same ones trying to bring back the lost queen of Terrasen, whose name is Aelin Galathinius. Is that how you pronounce that?
Alien.
Kale and Selena, Aelin, whatever you want to call her, they get together in Crown of Midnight, but they have issues because neither of them really sees the other clearly, I don't feel like.
Mm-hmm. I think they see the important stuffs. They see the important things, but there's still kind of like this veil of like, they both have been living, their stories are very parallel to one another. So we had to change the setup a little because the phone was overheating on the truck dashboard. So
fancy equipment.
Where were we? Where did we leave off?
You were talking about Kale being similar to Aelin, Selena, whatever her name.
Their stories are very parallel to one another, and so I think that's where they've like found their love for each other, I think. But I think it was like more of like you cross paths and they were there when they needed each other, and then now she has to go and find herself, and so does he. He has to kind of find where his loyalties lie.
Yeah, my take on their relationship was she kind of has this thing of needing like his approval because she admires him and everything, and so it's more of like a I want to make him love me type of thing, and he is attracted to like the healer in her, so like the person that she might have been had she not like become an assassin and had all this trauma and baggage, and he's very afraid and averse to that part of her, but she's a whole person, and he's not just like this guy who's perfect and like unstoppable, and like, you know, he's not this like guy that she thinks that he is. So I think that they were just kind of delusional about each other, and then that's kind of why they fell apart, is because they couldn't see each other and love each other for who they really were.
It just didn't work for them to move forward and do what needed to be done.
Yeah, yes.
And him not telling her about Nehemia because he wasn't sure where his loyalties lied.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. It wasn't the him not telling her about it. It was the principle of he didn't know where his loyalties were.
Yeah, he was like, oh, it's none of her business.
Need to figure that out.
Like it's like he was keeping them separate. He was like, Selena's in one corner, and then like all this business with the king is in the other, and like sure, Nehemia is Selena's friend, but it's none of like, you know, it's confidential, it's like top secret, and it's like, dude, that's literally your girlfriend's best friend, and she's in danger. Their breakup like honestly broke my heart. It was like really hard to read. Was it hard to read for you?
When she tried to kill him. Clang, clang.
We're back, baby. Better than ever.
That was really awkward. I'm really sorry you guys had to see the close-up there.
It was really hard, like the fallout and him like trying to protect her still, and like how they were like he was like, I haven't changed the sheets because they smell like her, and her being like, I can't sleep in my bed because it smells like him. It was like, I am literally on the ground, please stop kicking. Oh, it was terrible. So then at the end of the book, she gets sent away to sort of the Feylands on assignment from the king, and Kale kind of
worked that.
Yeah, what's the word? Orchestrated that so that like she would be sort of out of the way of the king, and he wouldn't like be able to kill her, because then he learns that he finds out that she's Fey, but she leaves him clues in the end to tell him that she's actually Aelin Galathynius, and she's the lost queen of Terrasen. So in technically the fourth book that we read, but the third book in the main series, not including the prequel, is him kind of like, again, not really choosing a side, kind of working for her, like helping out her cousin Adian, like making deals with him, figuring out what the king is doing, but not really choosing a side until Dorian is like, dude, freaking pick a lane.
But I feel like without Celaena and the role that he had, he never would be where he's at now, because without that, he would have been just very loyal, and, you know, he gave up everything to be where he's at, and, like, it took him a while to come around and not be scared of her as an assassin in the first place, and then come to find out she's Fae, and he's just, like, I think that really pushed him to make those decisions on his own.
Eventually he's like, I do have to make a choice. And where do we leave him at the end of the fourth book? Like Heir of Fire. He flees, right? He has to flee with Adian, right?
Oh yeah, because of
because the king, there's this whole blow up with the king. Go ahead, sorry.
Because the king finds out, so
about Dorian's magic, about Sorsha.
Kills
her in cold blood. And then all the while...
And then, like, her head roll... I was like, ah!
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was gruesome.
And Dorian was like...
What, didn't he, like, try to pick up her head or something?
It was not.
Or, like, hold her hand?
Like, buddy.
Oh, pal. Yeah. Rough. Yeah, so it's kind of like, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Celaena is training with Rowan because she wants information from her aunt Maeve, one of the, like...
On the...
Word keys? Word keys. The things that open the portals.
Word keys!
That open the portals to other worlds. So.
Word keys. Word keys.
Do you like them? How do you feel about them?
I hope that we get a little more from Rowan in the next few things.
Like, rank him? Like, is he...
Well, in the series, he is no Sam.
They're not quite as low as Violet and Xaden, who I genuinely don't think should be together, but I don't hate them.
Rowan and them and her have not, like, really gotten together yet, though.
Yeah.
It's just kind of been like, I thought that he was just gonna get friend zoned. I like
kind of
saw
like,
things
I'm
about
loyal
it
to you forever, and it's like, based on what? What are we talking about? The thing with the Fae Queen and like everything where he
when
like,
he like did the blood oath, and she was like,
that was so cheesy. I was like, Sarah,
and she was like, bro, the whole point of me doing that was so that you weren't bonded to anyone. And he was like, but I want to be bonded to you. And she was like, okay, period.
Celaena's dating life definitely like will make you feel better about your dating life too, when you really think about it.
Magnolia? I thought we were talking about Magnolia first.
Well, this is our Throne of Glass video.
Celaena's dating life is a little bit too much of close proximity, just because he has muscles and you go through like war and battles and things with them, or just the close proximity. The men that she has been in close quarters with, she has kissed, or more. Like Dorian, kissed.
Name one that she hasn't.
Sam, kissed. Kale, kissed.
Even that weird courtesan guy she kind of had a flirtation with. It's like, can you go 2 seconds without kissing
She was like, I always thought he was gorgeous.
All right, Selena. All right, girly pop.
And then he turned out to be crazy.
Cray cray.
Like, he was part of the rebels, but like crazy. Like,
he was the one who killed Nehemia.
Yeah, he was like, she was like, and everybody's like, what the heck?
Yeah, so I think
he's like, but Selena,
but join me, and it's like, boy, she ain't joining you. So yeah, so Heir at Fire kind of like takes the series in a completely different direction, and we leave it with Dorian is confronting his father. Kale and Adian are on the run, presumably to go find Selena. Selena and Rowan are going somewhere, doing something. Oh, Selena is going back to Rifthold, yeah. Rifthold to find the key, the word key.
Arabin has it.
We
knew it.
Freaking Arabin.
He knew what he was doing too.
Yeah.
I swear if he has a redemption arc.
Never. Well, that's how kind of we leave everybody off, is they're kind of like starting their new stuff. Where's Menand? What's she doing?
She made it to, she's the wing leader.
Okay.
Which, the wing leader, I was like, the wing leader? Should I get the wing leader? You know, the fourth wing.
Yeah.
I was like, has Rebecca Yarros had a single original idea in her life?
I'm just scooch over here if that's okay.
The way that you're... This was more of an informal discussion, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have, like, a ton to say, because in terms of, like, themes and characters...
We're just all building into the...
Mm-hmm. I feel like Heir at Fire is very much setting it up.
Yeah.
Setting up the rest of the series. Selena's character growth is growthing. The arc is arcing. She sort of, like, stepped into her own, which...
The conflict, the world is worlding. It's building. The, you know, magic system.
We found out how the king took away magic all those years ago.
Basically, he's a hypocrite.
Yeah. It wasn't about eradicating magic. It was about controlling magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you making fun of me?
No, it's just, he honestly is just like... And then that story of her when she was a kid, and she, like, her magic, like, freaked out or whatever, and, like, she got blamed for it. I was like, I hate this man.
Honestly, that could have been, I feel like that could have been explored way more, you know, like, what that would do to a child. I mean, I guess you do, because she's refusing to use her magic in Heir at Fire.
And she's, like, not embracing who she really is. She's, like... The only identity that she had, she doesn't even really fully identify with it, but it's like her one. So, I'm Selena.
Yeah. Well, and then like all the people that she's lost gathering around her and being like, get up, I thought was pretty powerful. Mm-hmm. There were moments in that sequence where it was kind of cheesy, but mixed with very powerful, which is very Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh wow, that's powerful, and then you're like, okay, dial it back.
I'd like to act like and be all critical of it, but if I was in her place, I would, that's scary.
I think it's honestly just like, as a reader, proactive protagonists are easier to root for and easier to identify with. So I think that's really all I have to say about Heir at Fire. I like Adian, actually. I think he's an interesting character. All weird stuff with his cousin aside. I like Kale.
I liked their bromance, him and Kale's romance. I hope that develops.
I loved when Kale is leaving and he turns back to Dorian and he says, I love you. And it's like not, and he's just like, that's my brother and I love him.
Don't make it gay.
I thought it was really sweet.
It was, yeah. I feel like a lot happened, but at the same time, I have less to talk about than before.
Yeah.
Like, Assassin's Blade honestly had so much content in it.
Yeah, well, just like, it had so much character in it. And it's honestly, you know what I think it is it's probably like just that there are so many characters in Heir of Fire that you really start to feel like, what can I even talk about? Because with Assassin's Blade, it's a character study of Selena, and that's all it is. And you can really like, you know, dive into that and like pull that apart. But when it comes to Heir of Fire, it's like it's just setting everything
plot,
up,
you know,
for the second half of the series. It's just a lot of plot, which is good. I like it. I think that what's interesting about Heir of Fire is that I couldn't like binge it. Yeah. But I was enjoying reading it. Yeah. When I first started it, I was like, who the heck? Yeah. What? Yeah. Who? And then by the end, I'm like, I know everything, but it's like just like the plot point of like these characters and who they were and stuff. But yeah. Obviously, the important thing is with the Wyverns, the king is doing something with the Wyverns, and he's planning something. Yeah, it's part of his army. Yeah. Yep. And so, but he's using these witches, but I have a feeling he's probably going to stab them in the back because... Oh, yeah, for sure. Do we really think that the king is going to be like, oh, yeah, you guys can have your... No. Oh, and Ansel is now the queen of the wastes. Did you catch that? Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. It was like a throwback. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So, yeah. So, like, it's the difference between a character study and just, like, a bunch of characters and a lot of plot happening. But I feel like I hit on everything that I wanted to talk about. Me too. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening. This was Unhinged, and we're in the car, and the camera's going to be so shaky. And hopefully it made sense. We know it didn't. Let's be honest with ourselves. But, you know, this is what we're working with. We're winging it. So we are the Lit Ladies. And we'll see you next time. No, remember the outro? Oh. Good. No. We are literally done with this video. Oh, we are literally done with this video. Bye! Why did I wave like that? I'm trying to think of the most recent book couple that I was like, you guys are my heart and I love you so much. Hold on. It's gonna come Magnolia Parks. I'm just kidding. I haven't read it yet. You just read Magnolia Parks and you're in love. Not because I think that they're a cute couple at all. It's okay if you do. No. Like, I really honestly need to get over it a little. Hot takes. Like, it's here. But it's the codependency and all that. Like, it's yeah. Tom England. We're not talking about that book, but we can. I should read it this trip and we'll talk about it. Yeah. They've got one of those weird things on top of their car. What are those for? Do you know? Like extra space luggage. Because I've always wanted to put my luggage in an almond-shaped box on top of my car. It's my luggage nut. I like lean forward, like. I bet that's such a jump scare. Later, we should slow that down so it's just like. Do you have to pee also? No. I'm just sitting like this. Oh, awesome. I just crouch like a gremlin.